Guys, it's Sarah, and today I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion about some things I have noticed lately with my reading. These are things that have been on my mind a lot and things that I'm just noticing as far as trends and habits and things that are just kind of happening organically that I'm realizing. And it actually has started helping me shape my expectations for my reading and help me shape my goals for 2025. I do have a video already up of my 2025 reading goals, so I'll leave that link down below if you haven't seen that yet. But I used some of these realizations to kind of help me make some more realistic goals for me moving forward. Okay, the first one is that I tend to not read very much on the weekends. That has been a big trend I've noticed lately. And that's definitely been happening recently because Saturday is football. And I watch it. I watch football a lot on Saturdays, sometimes all day, depending on what games are on. I don't just watch my beloved Georgia Bulldogs, who are in the playoffs. I also watch other schools. So my husband and I watch college football. And we will watch other schools and just kind of see how people are playing, what's going on, especially if it will affect our standings and, all that kind of stuff. So we will watch some other games, especially if it seems like they're going to be exciting. And then we've watched a little bit of NFL here and there. We're starting to watch a little bit more only because we want to see our Georgia players playing, like Brock Bowers, who plays for the Raiders, and Lab McConkey, who plays for the Chargers. Like, we will try to watch them if we can. And George Pickens on the Steelers as well. I love watching him play. He's fantastic. So, if my Georgia boys are playing, because they're my boys, they're my babies, I try to watch them if I can, if we can catch it on TV. We don't pay for like the NFL Sunday ticket. That's very expensive. We don't pay for that. But if we can just happen to catch it, it'd be nice. So I do watch football on the weekends quite a bit, especially right now. Now come, February, that's going to be done. So there is that. But that has caused me to not read much on the weekends. And then also that's just kind of family time. My husband and I tend to go on weekly date nights when we can. So that does we usually go Friday or Saturday. So that, takes time away from some reading. And, Sunday is like our prep for the weekday. So we're doing laundry and grocery shopping and planning for the week and doing all that. And that just takes time. So I'm not reading as much. So the weekends for me, I've started really shifting my expectations for reading and just knowing that I'm not going to get to a whole lot. I will still read on the weekends, but it's not as much during the week when I have more time on my own and, can sit down for a decent amount of time and read. I just can't do that on the weekends quite as much anymore. And especially in December has been almost non-existent because we've had events every single weekend. So, just like around the base and our squadron and stuff, a lot is going on in December because of the holidays. So that has definitely been a big realization for me. Another realization I've had is that the Read with Jenna picks have really been working for me. And I did a video about the Read with Jenna, her whole list and projects and everything and books I have. So I'll leave that link down below if you haven't seen it yet either. But I have read a few of her books that she has picked for her monthly, picks, and they've all been 5 stars. Including the one I was currently reading when I did that video. I was currently reading All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker, and that ended up being 5 stars for me. So her books are working for me. I know realistically that the more I read, I'm going to find some ones that aren't going to work for me or that I don't like as much or, whatever. I might even DNF some of them. It just depends. At least I gave them a try. But I have definitely just kind of realized of her list, the ones I've read have been 5 stars. Of her list, the ones that I have on my shelves already without even realizing they were a Read with Jenna pick are ones that I'm really excited to get to. And then there's a lot on there I've never heard of. And her most recent pick for December is Devotions by Mary Oliver, which is a book of poetry. I'm not a poetry reader, but I have heard so much about that book that it actually has me interested in picking it up. And then she picked it and I was like, okay, here we go. So here's just another sign that I think this is going to work for me. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this project and to start reading some more and picking some of these off my shelves that I already own and just kind of giving some more of these a try to see how it goes moving forward. Again, I'm not expecting all of them to be hits, but I'm at least willing to try them all. Another realization for me is that I have been picking up some longer books recently. Some longer books that are taking me longer to get through, I'm reading them with my eyeballs completely. And I'm finding myself reading slower and really sinking in and taking in these books and these characters and these stories, and I'm really enjoying it. So while it might take me longer to read them and I'm not reading as much, what I'm reading is really bringing me joy, and I don't mind. And that's something I want to do more, and that has definitely shaped one of my reading goals is to, kind of slow down and to read some of these longer, more literary books. That's kind of what I'm really feeling right now. I have been picking up quite a bit of longer literary books, but I haven't been reading them, but I've been picking them up. So obviously I want to read them and I want to give them a try. And having read a couple of longer literary books recently has really made me go, I need to do this more. So that's why I made that goal for myself in 2025. And along the same note, I'm really just craving quality over quantity at this point, because it doesn't matter how many books I read in a year as long as I'm enjoying what I'm reading. I don't want to read just for numbers, because to me that's not enjoyable, that's stressful, and there's no reason to do it. Reading is not a competition. It doesn't matter how many books I read. I could read 2 of the best books I've ever read in my life, or I could read 75 books that I'm probably going to forget in the next 2 years because they weren't anything that were going to stick in my brain. So yeah, for my personal reading, I would rather have quality over quantity, and that's really what I'm going to focus on next year, which is why I lowered my Goodreads goal, and I'm just going to pick up some of these longer books that have been sitting here and that I really, really want to read because they are actually calling to me at this point. Now, will I read some shorter books and some just fun books that I'm probably going to forget in a couple of years? Absolutely, I will do that. Not every book I read needs to be the best book ever written and have such an impact on me. That's not the whole point. But I want to read more books like that instead of just nothing but things that are supposed to be more, or that I would consider more palate cleanser for me. I don't want to read nothing but palate cleansers, whatever that looks like. Everyone has different types of palate cleansers. So that's kind of what I'm getting at for my personal reading, is that I just want to read some of these longer, more literary things and have that be more of my reading than it has been in the past. I'm also going to read a lot of fantasy because I want to get into some series and binge read some series. So that's going to be a lot of fantasy books, and those I have to read with my eyeballs, and I have to go a little bit slower on those, but I love it so much. So, I'm not mad about that. But yeah, so that's going to be, I'm hoping, majority of my reading next year, with other stuff sprinkled in. Don't get me wrong. Okay, guys, those are some trends that I've just really noticed have been happening to me lately in my reading life, and things I'm really realizing and recognizing. So it was kind of fun to pinpoint some of these down. And I kind of like the way that they just kind of just happened, and I was just paying attention to it. I didn't have to think too hard about these types of things. So that was kind of nice. Let me know your thoughts. And have you guys noticed any trends in your reading that make you switch directions or switch gears? Let me know that down below, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day.